President, distinguished senators of the Federal Republic, I'm Dr. Ajibola Basiru. I represent Osun Central Senatorial District. First and foremost, I thank Almighty Allah for making it possible for us to be here today to celebrate 2 years of our legislative activity. It's not by our might, but by the grace of Almighty God. Secondly, I also express congratulations to the leadership of the Nigerian Senate, from the President and our leaders, and the ranking legislators. And I will say that my own difficulty has always been when you are asked to make a self-assessment. There is also the tendency that you will be deemed to be biased either in your favor. But in order to have objective parameter for assessment, I think we have to look at what are our constitutional duties and responsibilities under the Constitution. And these are 3. 1, to make law for the good governance of our society by Section 4 of the Constitution. The second is oversight function to expose inefficiency and corruption in public expenditure. And the third statutory responsibility is confirmation of requisite appointment under the Constitution or as been provided in statute. These are the 3 parameters that objectively we can use to assess ourselves without any bias. And I will say, despite challenges and without fear of any equivocation, that in the area of lawmaking, the 9th Assembly has discharged itself creditably well from making impactful legislation in virtually all areas of our human endeavor. We can, for instance, mention the promptitude of the Appropriation Act, the promptitude that would deal with issue of medium-term expenditure framework, the Bank and Other Financial Institution Act, which had not been touched for more than 2 decades, the Company and Allied Matter Act, the Police Amendment Act, Finance Act, and the various other legislations impactful on the life of our people. So in the area of lawmaking for good government of Nigeria, we have performed creditably in this area. Secondly, in the area of oversight function, our various committees have had to interface with the executive with varying degree of success in exposing inefficiency and ensuring that the Nigerian people have value for money. In this area, our effort in expanding the implementation of the capital aspect of the 2020 appropriation is not only novel, commendable, but has saved the country a lot, of wastages and assuring there's efficiency. Of course, in the area of confirmation of appointment, this Senate, contrary to the naysayers, have had occasions to return some nominees who have not been able to pass through the crucible of requisite statutory requirement or constitutional provision. But going forward, I'm talking as somebody who has the shadow responsibility of projecting the image of the National Assembly. There are certain expectations expected from us as a National Assembly from Nigerians, and I will enumerate them. Because of time, I may not be able to go into the detail. Nigerian people are looking to us to make the constitutional amendment not just a ceremony, but something fundamental and impactful in realizing devolution of powers and restructuring of our governance in an efficient and effective way that will promote good governance, welfare, and security of our people. Nigerian people are expecting us in the next 2 years to come up with an electoral act that ensures transparency and integrity in our leadership production system in Nigeria. The petroleum industry bill is a subject matter that we have been inundated with requirements on how do we make our oil and gas sector efficient, particularly in view of the terminal nature of that sector. In the area of economy, we are tasked as National Assembly to support efforts, legislations, and activities that will ensure our teeming youth are get gainfully employed, our productive sector become really productive. In the area of security, this is the area where we need to deal with public perception, not only of the legislative arm, on the executive arm. And I want to say, with all sense of responsibility, that we need to do more than passing the buck to the executive. We have a recommendation of our own committee. I want to task us to come up with a committee that will look at practical implementation of that report. There are legislative activities that could be done. There are appropriation activity that could be done. We need to do this. Then fundamentally, Nigerians are asking questions about the size of our government. Under the 2021 Appropriation Act of 13.8 trillion budget, 5.9 trillion is going to recurrent expenditure. This is not good in terms of making allowances and provision to do real infrastructure, reproductive activity for the future of our country. All said and done, I believe that in the next 2 years, this will serve as barometer for us to know whether we are really doing what we are expected to do by those who have given us the mandate to represent them in this hallowed chamber. Once again, I congratulate all of us, and I pray we have the courage and the conviction to continue to live up to the expectation of the Nigerian people. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Distinguished